Welcome to the Foundry. This explainer is made by Forge College, and today we're really getting our hands dirty. We are building the actual transmission for the smart wallets we conceptually framed in our last explainer. I'm pumped to guide you through this capstone module. Today we're focusing on implementing swap execution with an aggregator on the Solana blockchain. So think of this as taking those theoretical blueprints from last time and sketching them out in dark green ink right here on our beige patent paper. We are moving from high-level architecture to real executable code. Okay, let's take a quick look at the agenda we're sketching out today. We'll be hitting the swap engine blueprint, prepping your devnet environment, fetching the quoted route, assembling the transaction, slippage, signing and sending, and finally wrapping up with post-swap verification. Let's just jump right in. All right, section 1, the swap engine blueprint. So in Web3, a swap aggregator is basically this insanely powerful service that scours multiple decentralized exchanges to return the absolute best possible token trading route and price. You know, think of it kind of like a superpowered travel agent for your crypto. It checks all the airlines for the best route, which saves you the massive headache of manually checking every single DEX on Solana and doing a bunch of complex math just to avoid getting ripped off. The aggregator essentially handles all the heavy lifting for us. Moving on to section 2, prepping your devnet environment. Before we start bolting things together, we gotta prep our workspace. First, initialize your node.js and TypeScript environment. Next, and hey, this is absolutely critical, you need to fund a temporary payer account with fake devnet sol to cover your transaction fees. Please, never, ever use a mainnet key for this phase of development. Finally, pick 2 SPL token mints to practice swapping between. Make sure to record their mint addresses and decimals. It's honestly just like laying out your wrenches and orange gears perfectly on the drafting table before you build an engine. Okay, section 3, fetching the quoted route. Now we actually ask the aggregator for a route. We fire off an API request with 4 non-negotiable parameters. First, the input mint, so what token you currently have. Second, the output mint, what token you actually want to get. Third is the amount, and remember, this has to be measured in the smallest base units of the token. And fourth, your slippage tolerance. The aggregator grabs these inputs, crunches the optimal multi-hop route across Solana's liquidity pools, and sends it right back to your client. But wait, you might be looking at that last parameter and thinking, what exactly is slippage tolerance? It's honestly critical for protecting your users' funds from sudden market volatility. Slippage tolerance is just the maximum acceptable price change between requesting a quote and executing the actual on-chain swap. It is exactly like telling a barista, hey, I'll still buy this coffee if the price goes up 5 cents while I'm standing in line, but if it suddenly jumps by a whole dollar, I'm firmly walking away. Crypto markets move incredibly fast, right? So this ensures you don't get a terrible deal in the few seconds it takes to process your transaction. Section 4, assembling the transaction. Depending on the aggregator, they might hand you a fully assembled engine, or literally just a box of parts. If they give you a pre-built base64 transaction string, boom, your job is super easy. Decode it to a transaction object and sign it. But if they hand you raw instructions, you gotta carefully assemble those transaction objects yourself, adding each instruction sequentially and ensuring every single required key pair is there and ready to sign. Next up, section 5, slippage, signing, and sending. So before you just hand over your wallet's signature like a blank check, you have to run a final safety check. Compare the successful primary execution plan against your fallback logic. If the quoted output passes your minimum threshold, proceed with your primary route. Just sign and send. But if it fails the slippage math, abort. You then trigger your fallback logic, requesting a new quote with a larger slippage or maybe finding a completely different route. Once the slippage math checks out, the execution is beautifully straightforward. It's a clean 3-step launch sequence. Step 1, you formally sign the transaction with your local key pair to authorize the swap. Step 2, you serialize that transaction data into a binary format the network actually understands. And Step 3, you blast it off to the Solana devnet via a raw connection. And finally, section 6, post-swap verification. You know, sending a command is only half the job in engineering. You gotta prove it actually worked. You must actively fetch the balances of your input and output tokens, specifically checking the associated token accounts, or ATAs, before and after the swap. You need to definitively prove that the expected decrease in your input token and the expected increase in your output token actually happened on-chain, and that those final numbers sit comfortably inside your slippage tolerance. Which brings us to a massive golden rule in DeFi protocol integration.
Treat aggregator responses as authoritative guidance, not guaranteed on-chain outcomes. The aggregator is just suggesting the best path based on its view of the world, but the blockchain dictates the ultimate reality. Never assume a transaction succeeds just because the aggregator gave you a really good initial quote.
To ensure long-term reliability for your apps, you need to log all of this crucial telemetry metadata. Track the route ID, the quoted amounts and fees, the chosen fee pair, the final transaction signature, and those final balances. If something goes wrong, these logs are basically your black box. They allow you to audit failures, understand exactly why a transaction reverted, and program your app to retry gracefully.
Looking ahead to our next lesson, we'll take this fully operational swap execution engine we just built and use it as the routing core for managing concentrated liquidity positions. We're moving from a simple point-to-point swap to complex automated orchestration.
So when the crypto markets suddenly turn turbulent, will your application handle a failed primary route gracefully, or is it going to crash, burn, and lose your users' funds? That is exactly the difference between a beginner script and a professional application. Make sure to visit forge.college to explore more of our advanced learning programs and find out how to build truly bulletproof Web3 apps. Thanks for joining me at the drafting table today for this explainer made by Forge College. I'll see you in the next module. Keep building.